Good evening, you're watching SG News, I'm Hugh Riches. In the headlines tonight, the future of an historic Hull building, a weather warning as the cold snap reaches our region, and a children's art exhibition in Cleethorpes. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Rita Groves about a Christmas concert, and before that, Sally McCormack on a Christmas fair. Plans to demolish an historic building connected to Hull's fishing heritage have been shelved. The Lord Line building on St Andrew's Dock was set to be bulldozed after owners Manor Properties claimed earlier this year that it posed a risk to public safety. But Hull Civic Society and Historic England opposed the decision, saying it would cause substantial and unjustified harm to the heritage of the city. Planning officials at Hull City Council have advised against permitting the demolition, and it'll be discussed again at a planning committee meeting on the 6th of December. BAE Systems says manufacturing Hawk jets at its Brough plant will continue. The company announced last month that over 400 jobs are expected to be axed as part of a national shake-up. The Red Arrows, who fly the Hawk, will have replacement aircraft in 2030. Defence ministers are expected to visit the plant in the new year as efforts to save the jobs continue. Grimsby's MP challenged the government over local investment at Prime Minister's Questions today. Labour's Melanie On welcomed the specific mention of Grimsby in the government's industry white paper, but asked Damien Green, standing in for the Prime Minister, when the government would put its money where its mouth is. Grimsby planners are hoping for almost £37 million of government money. Mr Green assured her that money would be attached to the strategy after last week's budget. A yellow weather warning is in place for our region tonight. The Met Office says icy patches and wintry showers are expected overnight between 6 o'clock this evening and 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wintry showers will bring an additional hazard and may lead to 5 centimetres of snow on ground above 100 metres. Some roads and railways are likely to be affected. Expect delays. Almost 100 delegates attended the annual Humber Estuary Conference. Various organisations involved with agriculture and industry came together to discuss how their activities can support the sustainable management of the estuary. They also heard about the value of the natural environment from Tony Juniper. He's one of the country's top environmentalists. Tony Edwards from the Humber Nature Partnership chaired the event. He explains what benefits the Humber Estuary can bring.
The estuary is noted for its ports. It's also noted for the industry around it and growing renewable industries like Siemens here in Hull. But it's also a magnificent facility, a habitat for wildlife, particularly birds, but the great seal colony on the south bank. But also there are threats, and it's particularly the flood threats. And we want to manage the estuary so it is good for business, good for people, good for wildlife, and that they can live with the natural threats of flooding and things like that.
If we look after nature, then we look after people. So, for example, the fishing industry relies on healthy seas that are producing lots of fish. If we want to protect ourselves from flooding, having natural rivers and natural coastlines is a good way to do that. And if we do these things well, we get a lot of wildlife too.
It's working in partnership a lot of the time. No one organisation has all the money, all the skills, or all the knowledge. And so if we work together and pool our resources, we can get big pluses for the environment and for people.
The environment touches everything, and so you can't make progress without working in true partnership. You have to have the private sector, the government, the non-governmental organisations and representatives of the public all there together. If you can do that, we can come with some great solutions.
The Transport Secretary Chris Grayling has unveiled plans to reopen disused rail lines. Plans include reopening the direct rail link between Hull and York in attempts to help the economy. Several lines were closed in the 60s, mainly in rural areas, after a report by the infamous Dr. Richard Beeching. A new project to boost the number of US visitors to Lincolnshire has been launched. The Connections project will produce a series of new English-themed experiences for the American market. The aim is to tempt tourists to visit places other than London. A combined effort by 13 destinations will develop tourism in the lead up to 2020, the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower's historic departure from Lincolnshire for the New World. £500,000 will be invested in the project by Visit England, along with funding from Lincolnshire County Council. The final stage of Lightstream in Hull is expected to be lit up by March. KCOM have announced that it will convert all of the Hull and East Yorkshire network with ultra-fast fibre infrastructure by March next year. New areas to enjoy the technology include Sutton Park, Orchard Park and parts of Hessel. On completion, KCOM will have installed 11 million metres of fibre, enough, they say, to stretch around the moon. Pupils from Scartho Junior Academy in Grimsby have used art to answer the essential question, what makes me me? The result of the project is an assortment of unique pieces of art, all of which show the importance of being different. The exhibition is now on display at Cleethorpes Discovery Centre, where a launch party was held today with a series of workshops led by art experts.
We basically start with a project question, an essential question, what makes me me? And for the term, the children explore that question, find out the answer to it. And this time it's been art-based, with our exhibition being this art gallery. It's really lovely. You get to see a different side to the children, and they get different opportunities mingling with the public and families and sharing their learning with families too. So it's nice to take them out of school.
The thing what we did is called the paint splatter, and technically what we did is just put paint on our hand and then just put poses, and then our teacher would just take a photo of it.
I like about drawing that you just follow where you're going. So I just love doing it, and you just do whatever you want to do. It's just free.
It makes me really happy because it's not like I'm the only one whose artwork's been. It's not just mine who's the best, it's everyone else's. So it's not like I'm being greedy.
Now, a Christmas fair will be held in Grimsby this weekend to raise funds for charity, and I'm joined now by Sally McCormack from Women's Aid in North East Lincolnshire to tell me what's in store. Sally, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for asking me, Hugh.
Now, this is a fair occurring on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, the 3rd of December, starting at 10 a.m. at our Hayton Square shop until 3 p.m. A fantastic opportunity for anyone that hasn't already visited our shop to come along and see what's in store.
And you don't have to book in advance or anything like that.
No,
just rock
it's
up.
Free admission.
Okay.
Just turn up and enjoy what we've got planned for the day.
You've got things planned. It's not just special stock for sale.
No, we've got lots of different stalls within the shop, pop-up stalls offering different craft ideas made by people locally, cake stalls and such like. We have a second charity that does a lot of work with us, Helping Hands in the area, are bringing along their Santa's sleigh at around 1 to 1:30. We've got the Lincolnshire Heroes that have very kindly donated some of their time free of charge, so you can come along and meet the Lincolnshire Heroes.
And who are the Lincolnshire Heroes?
So the Lincolnshire Heroes are a group of people that dress up as different characters, Star Wars and Marvel heroes. They do an awful lot for charity, and this Sunday they're very kindly coming along to our event. So I'm sure the children of the town would enjoy seeing them.
Excellent. Okay, well that sounds like it's going to be a wonderful event.
Yeah.
And it is, of course, raising money for an extremely important charity, Women's Aid.
Absolutely.
How many people, well, first of all, what does Women's Aid do?
So Women's Aid support victims of domestic abuse in North East Lincolnshire, both men and women. Obviously women we can support in our refuge, which is in the area. They can come along and live in our refuge if they are in imminent danger. Men, however, for obvious various reasons can't come and live in our refuge, but we do offer a support programme for those as well. So we have a separate phone line for men to contact us on as well if they need help.
How many people can you look after?
We have 15 flats. The flats, we can double families up in there if we have to. We would never ever turn anybody away that was in imminent danger and needed our support. We have other people that we can use to help support us if we need to put people up who are in danger.
Well, I was going to say 15 flats, even doubled up, 30 families could be helped.
Absolutely.
I have a horrible feeling that in North East Lincolnshire there are more than 30 people
Absolutely.
who are suffering for this dreadful crime.
We are never ever empty, let's put it that way, Hugh. We're always full, and we've always got lots of children in our refuge. We have no funding given to us whatsoever for children that live in our refuge, which is where the retail sector of Women's Aid comes into its own. We single-handedly support children's services within refuge, so it's vital that we exist.
So that's really very much what the fair on Sundays.
Absolutely, yes.
That's what that's going to be supporting.
Yes.
Why is it that this is such a problem? Is it particularly a problem in North East Lincolnshire, or is it a universal horror?
I think it's a universal horror, unfortunately. It's sad to have to say that. We do have a high percentage of domestic violence in North East Lincolnshire. Fortunately, we have a refuge within our area that we can help people.
And if people do feel they really are, as you say, in imminent danger, call the police.
Absolutely.
If they're just generally scared and they're worried, they should contact you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can contact us on Grimsby 575757. That phone is manned 24 hours.
Thank you very much, Sally.
Thank you.
Join me after the break. Jack will bring us a roundup of the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to Rita Groves about a coastal choir. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Jack brings us a roundup of all the latest sporting action, and I'll be talking to Rita Groves about a Christmas choir. The finale of a year-long dementia project takes place in Hull on Friday. The Butterfly Effect has explored the lives of people living with dementia through various workshops. A sculpture, having transformed into a butterfly, will take to the sky. It'll be followed by a kaleidoscope of butterflies carrying messages of hope for the future. The final event, Hear Our Voice, Celebrate With Us, takes place at Cardamom 94 on Alfred Gelder Street at 2 o'clock in Hull. Grimsby Hospital is calling on parents to display a Christmas bauble. Staff on the neonatal unit are putting up a special tree for parents whose babies received care there to bring and display a bauble. Parents can put the name of their baby on the bauble along with a picture and the birth date. The campaign runs from Friday until the 8th of December, when parents can visit the unit between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Time now for some big questions for little people. This week it's the turn of pupils from Sign Hills Academy in Cleethorpes, who tell us what their 3 wishes would be if they could meet Aladdin's genie.
I'd like world peace. I'd like a doctorate and 100 more wishes.
To have a lifetime supply of chocolate and to be invisible, so then like I can go anywhere and do anything and be sneaky, and to have a dog because my dad doesn't let us have a dog.
I'd wish to have a French bulldog, that I could fly, and to be rich.
I would have my own private jets and I could go everywhere. I would want to have my own castle, and I would not want to be a billionaire.
Probably to own like a lot of houses in different places, because then you can go and visit different places. To have a lot of money, and probably to have like all the animals in the world.
To be rich so I can buy my mum loads of stuff and family. To go to Old Trafford and To have another puppy.
I'd quite like to have a massive back garden full of stuff to do, like big buildings and stuff, like trampolines and that. Yeah.
What might your other 2 wishes be then?
One to have the biggest bedroom in the world and like loads of cool stuff in it. And my other one, probably to be able to fly.
Have lots of puppies. To be a millionaire and the world peace.
I'm joined now by Rita Groves to tell me about the Grimsby and Cleethorpes Ladies Christmas Choir. Rita, welcome. Thank you very much for coming in. Let's get the details out. If people want to enjoy this fantastic occasion, where should they be and when?
We should be at the Grimsby Central Hall on Duncombe Street, and the concert starts at 7:30.
And you have a guest choir joining you as well this time.
Yes, we do. It's the Dalesman Male Voice Choir from Derbyshire.
And there are all sorts of male voice choirs. You're quite exclusive. There's the Orpheus Choir, I know, is a sort of partner choir to you.
Yes.
And they have no women there. and you all have no men here. Occasionally you mix it up.
Yes, we do. We have done concerts with the Orpheus Male Voice Choir.
Okay.
Yes.
So what can we expect on the programme at Grimsby Central Hall?
Well, it'll be a mixture of kind of popular songs and songs from the shows in the first half of the programme, and in the second half it will be Christmas music, and there will also be audience participation carols with the gentlemen and the ladies, and everybody can join in.
And of course, you have to have, they've got Once in Royal David City, this is for the audience, Once in Royal David City, We Three Kings, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. It really isn't Christmas unless you've sort of sung your lungs out at some point.
No, it isn't.
And thank you for letting the audience participate, because if you have a singing voice like mine, then everybody just turns around and looks at you, unless there's a good enough excuse to be doing it. So that's going to be fantastic. You've got the Dalesman Voice Choir coming and joining you. Yes. How old is the Grimsby Ladies Choir?
The Grimsby Ladies Choir will have been going now for about 46 years.
And what's your role in it?
I'm a musical director.
So you're the boss?
I'm the boss.
And you'll be up at the front conducting it with baton and all that. Now that conducting is almost using the choir or orchestra as a musical instrument. Do you have to learn, do you have to train how to be a conductor?
Not for the conducting part, but I was a singer, a classical singer, classically trained. So I know all the ins and outs of music, hopefully, and I'm also a pianist. And I was deputy accompanist at one stage for the choir.
So classically trained singer, you've sprung a surprise on me there, Rita. What sort of repertoire did you have in your professional days?
Recitals, oratorio, opera. That was my forte.
Okay. Now, as we said, the Grimsby and Cleethorpes Ladies Choir is not quite as old as the Orpheus Choir.
No, it isn't. No.
But they were founded by the same person.
The same conductor, Vera Burton, who in a time was a professional singer.
But the Orpheus Choir is much older. She must have had the idea of a ladies' choir must have come a bit late. Yes. Orpheus Choir going to be 70 this year?
That's, yes.
Do you have any plans for celebrations? Will you join them? Will you help them in their it's not this year, is it? It's 2019, I think.
2019, and hopefully we might be doing something with them, but not at the moment.
Both choirs, you've had an association with Grimsby Central Hall.
Yes.
And that's a building it's a beautiful, wonderful building.
Beautiful.
Is it good to perform in?
It's fantastic acoustics, and everybody that's performed there have commented how fantastic it is to sing in. And also bands, brass bands, etc. And it is really a beautiful place.
But it's not always secure, as it were. That its future hasn't always been secure. Is it secure now?
It's more secure now, and we're hoping that we can keep it open, hopefully.
So you're looking forward to this. You'll be conducting. You're in charge. Are you conducting any? I'm looking at the programme here. Are you conducting any of the Dalesmen as well, or do they have their own?
No, they'll be conducting their own. Not unless I'm asked to do some of the choir, the carols with them.
Okay, well, you could sort of mix it up a bit, and I presume there'll be a bit of the two choirs coming together towards the end.
Right. Yes.
Both choirs and audience for
the carols.
Good King Wenceslas, away in a major, and O Come All Ye Faithful.
Yes.
Right, well, I suppose I've read those titles out now. My Christmas has started, Rita. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much
Thank
for coming
you.
in. Here's Jack with all the sports news.
We'll start with non-league football, and North Ferriby United have a new manager. Former Grimsby Town midfielder Chris Boulder has taken charge of the Villagers. The Holborn 35-year-old takes over from owner Jamie Waltham, who was at the helm for the 5-1 defeat to Nuneaton Town on Saturday. It is Boulder's first job in management, but he knows the club well, having enjoyed a 4-year spell as a player for Ferriby between 2009 and 2013. Grimsby Town won comfortably in a private practice match earlier today. The Mariners 11 beat Morecambe 5-1 behind closed doors at Blundell Park. Town went in front on 18 minutes through Scott Vernon's header after some great wing play by JJ Hooper. Vernon grabbed his second of the game just 10 minutes later with a neat finish from 20 yards. Hooper notched a goal of his own just after the break before Vernon completed his hat-trick shortly afterwards. Harry Cardwell's curling effort from distance gave Town their 5th of the afternoon, while Morecambe scored a consolation goal late on. The game provided a useful opportunity for players returning from injury to get minutes under their belt. First teamers Paul Dixon, Jamie Osborne and Sean McAllister also got a run out. Scunthorpe United confirmed today that the club will once again take part in Grassroots Football Day. It will be the second time the club has held the event, having welcomed around 60 local junior football teams and 1,000 extra supporters back in March. The Iron will host the event at Glanford Park during the League One fixture with Gillingham on the 20th of January next year. United are offering free tickets to the game to all clubs that register children to take part. A special price of £10 for adults will also be available on a one adult to one child basis for those involved with local clubs who register. That's all for the sport. Back to Hugh in the studio.
Thanks very much, Jack. Don't forget that Christmas fair on Hayton Square in Grimsby over the weekend, and the Grimsby and Cleethorpes Ladies Choir at Grimsby Central Hall on Saturday evening. If you've any stories like that for us, very Christmassy today, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, or email news@estuary.tv, or phone Grimsby 01472 31553, just appearing below me, I hope. Or you can write to us at Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire, DN345BQ. That's all of us from the team for tonight. Thanks for watching. Until tomorrow, good evening.